Hi, I'm Anna Runkle, also known as the Crappy Childhood Fairy. If you've been watching my channel, you know I say stuff about childhood PTSD that's kind of countercultural. And I try to stay 100% consistent with the science of PTSD and the effects of early trauma on our adult lives. But I sometimes go against the grain of conventional wisdom, especially around what the problem really is and what the solution is. And these are my principles that you'll hear echoed in video after video here. So today I thought I'd summarize 3 of the most potent, though sometimes counterintuitive and countercultural principles, which I call tough love truths. You're either going to hate these because it's not what your therapist said, or you'll love them and feel like they speak to every crappy thing that's ever happened to you. But this is the gist of what I talk about with my coaching clients and in my courses and with anybody who feels ready to try something new, to stop looping on the past and repeating old mistakes, and to start healing from the effects of childhood PTSD and everything that goes with it, the loneliness, the underachieving, the sadness, the ADHD. So here goes. Here's the first tough love truth. Talking about your pain too much can hurt you, and in fact, it can hurt everyone else. You may have noticed this, and oh my gosh, I used to spend months at a time wrapped up in what I was sad about. And I've had some serious things to be sad about. When my childhood PTSD was at its worst, it was caused by sad things. My mother died, my brother died, I had been beat up randomly on the street. But then the PTSD that followed that caused me to make things even worse. I got too weird or angry for people to deal with. I was a terrible listener. I was completely absorbed in my emotions all the time. When I was finally rescued from this by the woman who first showed me how to write my fears and resentments on paper, which is the technique that I'm now showing you and thousands of people who watch this channel, there's a link always in the description section to show you how to do it. It's free. If you haven't learned it yet, I hope you'll try it. But when I was reading to this woman, one of the first fear and resentment inventories that I wrote, I had written, "Fear, I'm in so much pain, but no one wants to hear about it." And she'd saved my life, and she understood me so well. So in that moment, I kind of expected her to say, "Oh no, no wonder you're in so much pain. Those terrible people in your life don't even want to listen to you. Tell about your pain." But what she actually said, I will never forget. She said, "Of course they don't want to listen to you, honey. Your sad stories are boring. And in the end, it's all about you." That's what she said. And my mouth just fell open, and I was so offended. But I thought about this, and it was the truest thing that anyone had ever said to me. No one does want to hear all my complaints. Not all the time, anyway. There's a time and a place to confide in someone about the hard stuff, but not every coffee date or elevator ride is a good time to talk about past abuse. And I mean, how did I not know this? So things started to get better for me, especially in relation to other people, right then. And it was that, not talking about it instead of talking about it, that made my life happier. Okay, tough love truth number 2. It's not important to know or analyze what happened in the past. Now, in a conventional approach to healing from childhood abuse and trauma, this is like crazy talk, but try it. You can have this enormous space to think and create when your mind is not completely packed like a hoarder's double-sized storage shed with anxious, angry thoughts. And the freedom to do what you like with your time is a freedom so big that a lot of us can barely handle it. So seriously, it's not uncommon for some of us to create problems when we get that free, because freedom means you have choices, and choices mean you have responsibility to do something wonderful with those choices. And so there's times when some of us can't really handle that. It's like agoraphobia, all that possibilities, like being in a big open space when we're terrified of it. And we want to go back to feeling snuggly and stuck and, analyzing the past. But I don't think that you'd be watching this video if that's what you truly wanted. Just now and then we want to be stuck, right? But mostly we want to be free. Okay, so my third tough love truth, it's a radical principle. Most of your problems today are self-created. And I know that's really harsh. And I know that some people have real, tangible problems. over which they have no control at all. I have been there. It's the story of men and women throughout history, really. Maybe you're in the hospital, or you're in prison, or you're watching from a country where you're not allowed to vote or drive or love who you want or practice your religion. Or maybe you're in a violent relationship where you fear leaving could get you killed. For all of you watching who can't today be free, just know that we are all with you, and we're all working on making whatever changes we can from wherever we happen to be right now. We just start there. But if you're like me, you're living in a place and a time where you're free from war, from famine, from tyrannical control, let's just remember how lucky we are. We are able to learn and make changes anytime that the movement to do so just shows up in our hearts. And no one can stop us. We can learn. If we lack education, we can teach ourselves. If you're watching this video, then I know you have access to YouTube. And YouTube is one of the greatest repositories of human knowledge there has ever been. You can learn the history of the world right here. You could find a recipe for tomato soup. You could learn how to repair the lock on your front door. You could teach yourself video editing. That's what I did. I built a whole company around that 10 years ago. You can even learn how the brain is affected by early trauma and what you can do about it. You can learn that with the brain that was traumatized right here on this channel. And look at you. You sought that out. You're teaching yourself. You're healing yourself. So the problems that still remain in your life, I have great news. You probably have some control over them because, and I mean this in the nicest way, they're the problems that you created. Everyone does this to some degree. In childhood PTSD, we're just extra good at it. So that's why I say this is good news. Most of our problems are self-created these days. So those are my 3 tough love truths. Talking about your pain too much can hurt you and others. It's not important to analyze what happened in the past. And most of your problems today are caused not by your parents, not by society, but by you. And that means you're free to make some changes. So let's keep going with those changes. You can check out my online course, Healing Childhood PTSD, in the links below. And if you scroll down there, you'll also find links to some of the free downloads and the instructions to the techniques that I talked about, so you can start feeling better today.